Hey Warriors fans, tonight we saw something that's been a little overdue. Golden State finally taking care of business in a game they were expected to win. Now, it wasn't perfect from start to finish, but an 11-point win over the Phoenix Suns to move to 5 wins and 3 losses is exactly what the team needed. Sitting on the couch, watching the game, I had that mix of excitement and nervousness, especially in those moments where it looked like the Suns might make a run. But Golden State showed the resilience that makes them such a dangerous team when things get close. And that's exactly what we witnessed tonight. One of the most surprising moments came with the rotation. At one point, Pat Spencer was subbed in, and I immediately thought, what is Steve Kerr doing? This is one of those moments where fans start questioning rotations and scratching their heads. But from the second Spencer touched the court, it was clear why Kerr made that move. He controlled the offense in a way that reminded me of the precision we've seen from the Warriors' greats in pick-and-roll situations. Paired with TJD, who also played exceptionally well from the backup center spot, Spencer was not just effective. He was dominant in those minutes. He hit a huge three-pointer at a critical time, grabbed multiple steals, and provided energy that the team desperately needed. It's rare to see a player come off the bench and completely change the flow of the game in such a short span. But Spencer did exactly that. It's the kind of performance that doesn't make headlines immediately, but earns the respect of anyone watching closely. Then there's Quentin Post. Man, this guy continues to make a strong case for consistent minutes. A few games ago, he came off the bench and started strong, hitting multiple threes early, only to have limited minutes later in the game. Tonight, though, he showed exactly why he deserves a key role on this team. His ability to stretch the floor and create space is invaluable, and he complements Steph Curry perfectly in pick-and-roll situations. Watching him handle the ball, set screens, and find open shots is a reminder of how important it is to have players who can operate in multiple ways. Post's defensive effort also stood out. Even when matched up against bigger Suns players, he made crucial plays, including several blocks and key defensive stops. If Kerr keeps him in this role consistently, the Warriors' second unit will be much more threatening and versatile. Steph Curry had a night that shows just how elite he is, even when he's not at his absolute best. 5 out of 12 from 3 isn't dominant by his standards, but it's enough to keep defenses honest and maintain the rhythm of the offense. 9 of 23 from the field overall tells a similar story. Curry may not have been perfect, but his presence alone opens the floor for everyone else. What's frustrating is that, despite his greatness, he still doesn't get calls consistently when driving to the basket. There are moments where you see less prominent players getting fouled at the top of the key or hitting the rim and receiving free throws, yet Curry often doesn't get the same treatment. It's something the league should address, because the inconsistency doesn't do justice to a player of his caliber. Still, he found ways to contribute, move the ball well, and set up teammates for success, which is what the Warriors need from their leader. Moses Moody also deserves a major shout-out. Early in the season, he had a couple of strong games, and tonight he picked up right where he left off. Defensively, he was locked in on Devin Booker, challenging shots, fighting through screens, and making several steals. Offensively, his confidence from beyond the arc was noticeable, and his ability to step up when the starters were not at full strength proved that he's becoming a reliable contributor. This kind of performance for Moody is exactly what the Warriors need to sustain their success, especially in games where the opposition is tough but not elite. The team's depth really showed in moments when Jimmy Butler was out due to lower back soreness and Steph wasn't firing at his usual pace. The bench stepped up when it mattered most. Buddy Hield knocked down a few critical threes, contributing both scoring and spacing, while TJD and Pat Spencer controlled different aspects of the floor. Even Brandon and other role players had moments that swung momentum in Golden State's favor. This demonstrates something key. When the starters falter or miss time, the Warriors' supporting cast has the capability to maintain performance and even shift the tide of the game. That's a critical element for a team with championship aspirations, having role players who can rise to the occasion. Kuminga's involvement also stood out, though there's still room for adjustment. When Steph or Jimmy are out, he needs to be more central to the offense, handling the ball and creating plays. At times, it felt like the flow struggled when the two of them were off the floor together and the offense slowed down. More ball dominance for Kuminga during those stretches could have made the second half even smoother, giving the Warriors another reliable scoring option while keeping defensive pressure on the Suns. It's not a knock on his performance. He contributed, but it highlights an area where Kerr could adjust rotations to maximize effectiveness for the second unit. Defensively, the team was disciplined in key moments. Quinton Post anchored the paint, Moody and Spencer provided pressure on the perimeter, and the team collectively limited the Suns' open looks. Even when Phoenix tried to mount a comeback, trimming a lead that was at 1.26 points, the Warriors responded. This resilience is exactly what fans want to see, especially in games that don't go perfectly. The ability to withstand pressure and execute down the stretch demonstrates the team's growing identity and maturity. Draymond Green had a solid night as well. While he may not have been spectacular in every stat category, his leadership on the floor was evident. 8 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal, and solid defensive positioning allowed the team to maintain balance when scoring was inconsistent. Green continues to be a glue guy, ensuring that rotations flow, players are in position, and opportunities for scoring arise even when the main stars aren't at their best. His veteran presence was especially crucial tonight, helping the team navigate through stretches where turnovers and missed shots could have shifted momentum. One of the most encouraging signs tonight was seeing players like Post, Spencer, and Moody integrate seamlessly into the game plan. They didn't just fill minutes. They made meaningful contributions, whether it was hitting timely threes, defending high-percentage shots, or controlling the pace of the game. This kind of cohesion is vital if the Warriors want to make a deep run. It's not just about the stars delivering. It's about the supporting cast executing consistently and with confidence. And tonight proved that the Warriors are developing that capability. As the second half unfolded, it became clear that the Warriors' bench would be the story of the night. With Jimmy Butler sidelined due to lower back soreness, the starters couldn't carry the full load, and the team had to rely on depth and smart rotations. This is where players like Moses Moody, Pat Spencer, Quinton Post, and TJD truly showed their value. Moody, in particular, looked confident both defensively and offensively, defending the Suns' best players while also knocking down key shots from beyond the arc. His movement without the ball, his anticipation on switches, and his willingness to step into the game without hesitation were exactly what the Warriors needed to sustain their momentum. These moments aren't always flashy, but they make a huge difference in a game where the lead can fluctuate quickly. Pat Spencer continued to impress as well. What initially seemed like a questionable rotation move became one of the highlights of the evening. He demonstrated poise and basketball IQ, controlling the ball in pick-and-roll scenarios, finding open teammates, and making timely defensive plays. It's rare to see someone come off the bench and immediately impact both ends of the floor like that. Spencer's ability to read the defense, anticipate passes, and make smart decisions under pressure added a layer of stability to the second unit. Those contributions allowed the Warriors to weather Phoenix's mini runs and maintain a lead, even when the game briefly got tight. Quinton Post also solidified his position as a player the Warriors can rely on night in and night out. Stretching the floor with his three-point shooting, setting solid screens, and reading pick-and-roll opportunities has become second nature for him. Beyond the scoring, Post showed defensive versatility by contesting shots and staying involved in rotations against taller opponents. There were a few moments where Phoenix tried to exploit matchups against him, but Post responded with timing and awareness, making plays that kept the Suns from turning the tide. It's performances like this that make it difficult to see how the team could limit his minutes in future games. He's proving that he's a key piece not just for the second unit, but for the team's overall strategy, providing spacing, defense, and consistent basketball IQ. Meanwhile, Steph Curry's performance was a reminder of his elite presence even when he isn't at peak shooting form. Shooting 5 of 12 from 3 and 9 of 23 overall doesn't scream domination, but it's enough for Curry to maintain influence on the game. The way defenses collapse on him creates opportunities for teammates like Moody, Spencer, and Post, allowing the Warriors to capitalize even when Curry's own shot isn't falling consistently. His court vision, ability to read rotations, and quick decision-making are just as impactful as scoring, and the game tonight reinforced why he remains one of the most dangerous players in the league. That said, the lack of consistent foul calls on drives to the basket remains frustrating. Curry still doesn't get the same calls as other stars when attempting shots under contact, which can sometimes impact the rhythm of the offense. Even so, he adapted and made plays that mattered. Draymond Green provided his usual steadying force, making sure the team didn't lose composure in stretches where the Suns closed the gap. With 8 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal, and solid defensive presence, Green's contributions are subtle but essential. He orchestrates the defense, communicates on switches, and ensures that rotations flow smoothly, which was particularly important tonight with key starters missing minutes or struggling with rhythm. Green's leadership is invaluable for keeping the team organized and competitive throughout the ups and downs of a fast-paced game. One of the bigger takeaways from tonight was the team's resilience. At one point in the second half, the Warriors were up by 26 points, only for Phoenix to chip away and bring it back within single digits. Moments like that test a team's mental toughness, and Golden State passed with flying colors. Instead of panicking or losing focus, the players remained disciplined, executed the offense, and made smart defensive plays to preserve the lead. That kind of composure is critical for a team that is trying to build an identity and prove that it can perform in high-pressure situations without relying solely on its stars. Kuminga's performance deserves a closer look as well. There were moments when he could have been more aggressive with the ball in his hands, particularly when the starters were off the floor. When Steph and Jimmy weren't running the offense, Kuminga has the ability to create scoring opportunities, penetrate, and finish at the rim. While he made some impactful plays tonight, incorporating him more consistently as a ball handler during these stretches could elevate the team's second-unit performance even further. That's something Kerr may need to adjust in upcoming games, ensuring that Golden State maximizes its offensive flow even when the starters take breaks. The Warriors' bench, overall, showed that this team can rely on more than just its core stars. Buddy Hield, TJD, and even Brandon contributed at key moments, hitting open shots, securing rebounds, and maintaining defensive integrity. This level of support is what turns good teams into contenders. Even when games aren't pretty and the starters aren't firing on all cylinders, the bench stepping up keeps Golden State competitive and capable of closing out victories. Defensively, the team maintained intensity throughout. Post anchoring the paint, Moody and Spencer pressuring perimeter threats, and smart rotations helped contain Phoenix's best options. The Suns managed to cut the lead several times, but the Warriors' ability to execute in critical moments prevented any major momentum shifts. That balance between offense and defense, stars and role players, veteran leadership, and emerging talent is exactly what makes Golden State dangerous. It's not just about Curry or Green. It's about the team collectively executing and finding ways to win, no matter the situation. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The NBA universe is buzzing like never before, and the latest whispers could shake the league to its very core. Sources close to the matter claim that Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning superstar of the Milwaukee Bucks, has allegedly given the green light for what could be the most sensational trade in NBA history. Yes, you read that right. Giannis says yes. While nothing is officially confirmed, insiders suggest that the Golden State Warriors are preparing to open their vault in a jaw-dropping bid to acquire the Greek freak. Multiple league executives reportedly described the Warriors' approach as unprecedented, hinting at a package that could involve a mix of top-tier players, first-round picks, and maybe even future assets that have fans talking for weeks. The chatter around this potential blockbuster deal is already sending shockwaves through social media, with fans and analysts speculating how a lineup featuring Giannis, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green could dominate the league in ways we've never seen before. The rumors also raise questions about how the Bucks would pivot after losing their superstar. Would Milwaukee go all in on rebuilding with young talent, or attempt to package the pieces to stay competitive in the East? Meanwhile, Golden State seems poised to take a no-holds-barred approach, with the whispers suggesting that the team's ownership is ready to commit financial and roster resources at levels that could redefine the concept of all-in. NBA insiders warn that, while excitement is at a fever pitch, these things can be notoriously fluid. Negotiations may stall, or unexpected variables could enter the picture. But the fact that Giannis himself is reportedly on board adds a layer of credibility that's hard to ignore. One thing is certain. If this deal comes to fruition, it will rewrite the balance of power across the league and make the Warriors a nightmare matchup for any contender. For now, fans can only speculate, dream, and prepare for what could be the NBA's most explosive offseason in decades. Will the Greek Freak finally suit up in the Bay Area? All eyes are on Golden State's vault, and the whispers promise that when it opens, the basketball world will never be the same. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.